Today's class will be a class to help you de-stress. At the moment, there's so much turmoil in the world. We have the US elections, there's unrest everywhere, and whenever you watch the news, all you see is anger, and it can make you really stressed. So today's class, I invite you to switch off from all of those streams of stress that come at all angles, from the television, from the radio, from our phones, from social media, and spend this time here connecting with who you are, with your body, with your breath, with your mind, and with your heart. If you don't know me, I'm Helen. I'm an experienced yoga teacher, a relaxation expert, a corporate burnout survivor, and I'm also a UK escapee. I now live in beautiful Costa Rica. I like bringing yoga and practices to you that make you feel better. We will start in a comfortable seat. I'm going to sit on a block, and a comfortable seat may mean anything to you. You can sit on the heels, cross-legged. I always find it's good to elevate the hips higher than the knees. And once you've found your comfortable seat, spine is tall, crown to the sky, and begin to close the windows of the eyes and turn the arrows of attention inward. Start to settle. Notice the breath. Notice how you're feeling in your body. Are there any areas where you're feeling tense? When we're stressed, we often feel it in the jaw, in the neck, the shoulders, and also in the hips. Take a moment to do a quick body scan. And if you find some areas where there's a little bit of tension, just mentally send the breath there. Telling your body it's okay to relax and let go. While you're sitting here in this comfortable seat, tuning in to your breath and your body, I'd like to remind you of one of the Yoga Sutras. This is Sutra 133. And I think it's really appropriate for this time in our world. By cultivating attitudes of friendliness towards the happy, compassion for the unhappy, delight in the virtuous, and disregard towards the wicked, the mind retains its undisturbed calmness. So what this sutra tells us is that when we look at things with equanimity and remain detached and accept them for what they are, we can have peace of mind. Attitudes of friendliness towards the happy, compassion for the unhappy, delight in the virtuous, and disregard towards the wicked. When you have this, the mind retains its calmness. Take a couple more breaths. And then when you're ready, slowly open the eyes. Wonderful. We'll come off of the block and we'll just work on a little bit of hip opening and release in a very gentle way, bringing the feet out in front of you, maybe just a bit wider than hip distance, leaning back on the hands. You can have the fingers pointing away or towards you, whatever feels good in your shoulders. We'll start to windscreen wiper the legs from side to side. So an internal rotation of one leg and an external rotation of the other. And with these mindful movements, maybe in time with the breath, we just gently start to work on the hip area. We hold a lot of issues in our tissues in the hips, particularly trapped emotions. Quite often when you feel like really stressed, you can find a gripping or feel a gripping in this area. I remember there was a time when I was very stressed at work and I'd lay in bed at night and I could just feel this like gripping in my right hip. No matter what I did, it didn't go away. It was kind of like a subconscious muscle contraction that I couldn't control. And when we experience things like this in our body, and we embrace a yoga practice, it can help us overcome these tensions. It can signal to the body that we're safe and that there's no need to hold on and brace to protect us. A couple more of these. And then come back to the center. Now cross the legs, noticing which leg you have in front of you. Grab hold of the inner thighs and manually externally rotate them. Your knees might be up here, so you can sit on a block if necessary, but lengthen out of the waist. And if you do have a block, I like to put it in front of me and reach towards it with the spine straight and start to descend over your legs. Breathing into the hips and lower back. I can really feel this in my lower back. I've had a pretty stressful month and it's manifesting in my body. Keeping the spine straight. We're folding from this hip crease rather than rounding the upper back. Breathing deep. Not worrying about how far forward you come. Just honoring your body and where you are and how you feel. Taking a couple more breaths here. And inhale, slowly come up. Whatever leg is in front, rotate towards the opposite knee, and we'll do the same. Using the block maybe as a point of reference, leaning out of the waist and descending over this opposite knee. Grounding down the hip that's furthest away from where you're leaning. Maybe you can feel it all in this area here. I feel it very deeply there. Shoulders are relaxed with space around the neck. Jaw is relaxed. Maybe close the eyes. Cutting out one of our senses can really help us tune in and connect with how we feel. And then on an inhale, we'll slowly come up. Switch the cross of the legs. And you probably found that you've habitually crossed the easiest way, and this might feel a bit funky this way. Tall out of the waist, and we'll repeat again. Tipping from this hip crease, coming forward with a straight spine, maybe using the block as a point of reference. Breathing deep into the hips, the outer hips, the lower back. Making sure the shoulders are relaxed and there's space around the neck. As one of my teachers used to say, how's trapezius doing? These trapezius muscles here, we often hitch them up. They have a lot of tension there. Breathing deep and long. Again, closing the eyes if that feels good. Knowing that it's safe for you in this position for your body to let go. Gently come up and rotate to that opposite knee. Tall out of the spine again. And coming over to whatever position feels comfortable for you. Grounding down into this opposite hip. Feeling that stretch all in this outer rump here. It feels pretty good. Gently come up. Shake the legs out a little bit. Maybe a couple of windscreen wipers. Then we'll come back to a cross-legged position. Hands can be face down on the knees. We're going to do a couple of eye circles You can keep the eyes open or closed, whatever feels good for you. I'm going to close mine. Crown is tall to the sky. Then look up and rotate your eyes around to the right, then down and around to the left and up again. Do 5 circles in each direction. So I'll go quiet whilst you do this. There should be about 5 in each direction. Now look, keeping the face facing forward. The only movement is coming from the eyes. Look up and then down, up, down, up, down, up, down. Now left and right, 5 times. Excellent. Now rub the hands together very vigorously, generating heat between the palms. And just place them over the eyes, soothing the sockets. And with your palms still over your eyes, open them. Might see a little bit of light coming in, and then very gently release the hands away from the eyes. Wonderful. That's quite a good little exercise to do if you look at a screen a lot. Now move on to hands and knees. Bringing the hands directly underneath the shoulders, knees underneath the hips. We move through a couple of cat-cows. So on an inhale, the chest lifts and the belly dips. As you exhale, round in the spine, tucking the tailbone under and the head coming down, shoulders protracted. Inhale, reverse the movement, moving in time with your breath. Exhale, round, really feel the articulation of the spine as you move. Enjoying every moment, every angle. We'll do one more. And then return to a neutral spine, making sure the knees are under the hips. We'll sit back into a narrow-legged child's pose and we move through some fluid child, cat, cow, cobras. On an inhale, slowly come up to cat. Then drop the belly, lift the chest, bend the elbows and bring the nose to the floor. And imagine there's a marble and you're pushing it forward and you come up into a little cobra. And then reverse that, the nose comes down, using the strength of the belly. We push back up, back through cat and down to child. Again, cat pose. Cow, bend in the elbows, the nose come down, pushing the marble across the mat into a little baby cobra. And then the body comes back down and we reverse the movement. A couple more of these. Inhale to cat, through cow, nose to the mat, into a little cobra. And then reverse back. One more. Inhale up to cat, cow, Bending the elbows, nose to the mat, pushing the marble for a little baby cobra. Back to cat, back to child. Taking a breath here. And then inhale, we come up. Grounding down into both hands. Inhale the right leg straight behind. Swing it across to the left side of the mat, tucking the toes and looking over the left shoulder for a lateral bend. Maybe rocking backwards and forwards on the ball of the left foot. This is getting into the back of the leg, opening the back of the knee and the calf and the heel. Then inhale back to center and release down, side B. Inhale the left leg straight behind. As you exhale, sweep it to the right side of the mat. Maybe rocking backwards and forwards on the ball of the foot, looking over the right shoulder, that left heel. Then inhale back to center and lower the knee down. Placing the left hand under the left shoulder. Inhale, right arm up to the sky. And exhale, bring it through for thread the needle. Right shoulder comes down, right ear comes down. Left fingertips can be tented in front. Breathing deep. Feeling the twist in the spine. Left hand plants. We open back up to the sky with the right fingertips coming up. And then down, side B. Inhale, left arm up. Exhale, left arm threads the needle. Left shoulder, left ear to the mat. Tenting the right fingers. Sometimes known as tree frog hands, cupcake hands. Whatever resonates with you. I like the tree frog. Then planting the hand, lifting the left arm all the way back up to the sky and return to tabletop. From here we'll make our way into Sphinx pose. So allowing the hips to descend to the earth, gently lower down. The elbows are just slightly in front of the shoulders. Legs are straight behind with the tops of the feet pressing into the floor. The upper back and the chest is wide. We'll just do a little bit of release in the neck. So bringing the chin down towards the mat and just allowing the head to dangle, widening the shoulder blades and feeling a nice stretch all along the upper back, the back of the neck. So a lot of times we are hunched over devices and we're kind of in this position, but we're holding it tensely. Here we just allow the head to go and it should feel a nice stretch down the back of the neck, and even move the head around a little bit, side to side. Maybe you can hear some crunching and popping. And then bring the head all the way down to the floor. And tent the fingertips outside the mat. Forehead is on the floor. And on an inhale, come up into this wide cobra. And then dip the right shoulder down, looking over the left shoulder. Back to the center. And the other way, dipping the left shoulder in, looking over the right. Back to the center, one more each side, dipping this right shoulder. Back to center, and then dipping the left. Back to center, return the body to the floor, and then we'll push back up and come and sit on the knees. You may want to take a block and place it between the heels, and we'll do something called teacup. So this is great to relieve stress in the shoulders. my goodness, I got cramp. Teacup. So this might be a bit complex looking to begin with, but just go with it. Always remember that your palms are facing upwards, like you're holding 2 cups of tea. On an inhale, we have our cups of tea in front of us. Pull the elbows back past the ribs, then rotate the palms so the fingertips are facing backwards, and then keeping your teacups on your palms of your hands. The hands come up, cross at the top, and we bring them down. And then we reverse it this way. So coming forward, rotating around. Remember, palms are always facing upwards. We come back. Keep going. Don't worry what it looks like or if it's perfect or not. I practice this a lot and I often lose my way. Just go with it. And this is such a great release for the shoulders. So when we're feeling all that stress and tension and worry, we hold it there in that emotional triangle of the jaw, the neck and the shoulders. This is a great way to release. It's kind of an unusual movement that we don't do in everyday life. So we're really waking up the shoulders, getting them to move in a different way than what we usually do. A few more of these. You can make it your own, just don't spill any tea. Let's do one more in each direction. And then coming back. And release down. Excellent. Placing I'll mirror you, the left hand outside the right hip. On an inhale, the right arm sweeps across and we lean over to the left. Grounding into that right hip, stretching out the right side waist. Shoulders are relaxed, space around the neck. You can allow the head to just go, or you can look down, whatever feels good. I find in a lot of these yoga poses we're holding the neck very rigid, and for quite a long time now I've just been allowing my neck to go, and it has reduced a lot of tension I feel in that area. Inhale, come up, and we'll do the other side, tenting the right fingertips. The left arm sweeps across, grounding down into that left hip, reaching out of the waist, and just falling over to this side, feeling it all down that left side body. Feels so good. And inhale, come back up. And we'll do some neck circles. If you don't feel comfortable circling your head all the way around, you can just do semicircles to the front. Bringing the chin down towards the chest, and ear to the left shoulder, maybe all the way back and over to the right and down. So 5 in this direction. Moving slow and mindfully. Feeling all of that in the tissues that surround and support the neck. There's a lot of stuff in there. And then over to the other side. 5 in this direction. I can hear snap, crackle and pops, which is totally normal. And then when you've done that, just return to neutral, maybe close the eyes for a moment, reconnect. Notice how you feel in the upper body. And if you're sitting on a block, come off it. And we'll move into a hip opener. deer pose. We've been working on these areas of the body where we hold tension, the hips, the neck and the shoulders. And we've done a little bit of hip opening already. We'll do some more. We're going to come into deer pose. So this is a version of pigeon which is more accessible. The legs and the hips will be in 90-degree angles. So my right leg here is at a 90-degree angle. My foot the same, coming directly out of the hip joint. And the same with this leg. This one is coming out of the hip at a 90-degree angle. The same with the knee and the ankle. Sitting tall, out of the waist, crown to the sky. And if it feels okay, you can fold from the hip crease and come over this front leg. If you have blocks, you can place the elbows on them. Lengthen in the spine. Maybe keeping a little bit of a cobra in the upper back. Space around the neck, how's trapezius? And if you like, you can close the eyes and tune into those areas that you're feeling tight. We spend so much time sitting, not working on the different rotations of the hip. And quite often we're tight with the external rotation. I know I am. And as you simmer here, you may find that your body is releasing and you can get a bit deeper, maybe elbows to the floor. Keeping the mind quiet. One more breath here. And inhale, we'll slowly come up. We'll move to the other side just through a windscreen wiper. If you got blocks, you can take them with you to the back of the mat. Again, we have all these right angles. Reaching out of the waist, crown to the sky. And then tipping forward from the hip crease. Starting maybe at a higher height as you start to accommodate this posture in the body. And as you become more comfortable and your brain knows that it's okay to release and relax, you may find you can go a little bit deeper, maybe bring in the elbows to blocks. Using the breath to help the body let go. Quiet mind. Maybe elbows to the floor. Being content with where you are. Cultivating an attitude of friendliness towards yourself, acceptance, contentment. One more long breath here. And then slowly we'll make our way up. And we'll move into our final pose, which is Viparita Karani, sometimes known as inverted leg pose or waterfall pose. If you have a wall space nearby, I invite you to use that, bringing your hip as close to the wall as possible and swinging the legs up to the sky, leaning on the wall. I'm going to do it in the middle of the room, and I like to use a block underneath the sacrum. If you're in the middle of the room like I am, It actually uses very little muscle engagement because our legs are stacked directly above the joints. Allow the palms to face upwards with the fingers curling towards the heart. Closing the eyes, centering in, basking in this wave of relaxation that I hope you're feeling in the body. A little bit of release for all the tension that's going on in the world today. Know that you don't have to invest half an hour, 40 minutes in a class to relax. You can take any of these poses we've done today and just do them on their own. Just give yourself a little space, some quiet time, tuning in to how you feel, into the body, allowing the mind to be quiet. These little nuggets throughout the day can make such a big difference to how we feel. And remembering the sutra again, by cultivating attitudes of friendliness towards the happy, compassion for the unhappy, delight in the virtuous, and disregard toward the wicked, the mind retains its undisturbed calmness. Friendliness towards the happy, compassion for the unhappy, delight in the virtuous, and disregard towards the wicked, we remain calm in our minds. Stay here for as long as feels good for your body. It's a pretty wonderful pose. Whenever I do it, I just feel so calm and relaxed. Thank you for practicing with me today, and I hope to see you again soon.